Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you guys there. I was just checking out the NBC World Series' new app. You can find this app at the App Store. All you need to do is type in NBCWS to be caught up on all things NBC World Series.
NBC World Series, it all happens here.
But we did see some records. If you liked runs, that was the game to watch in this World Series so far. And really, it's been the game ever. 32 runs, a record, 38 hits, also a record. But that is pushed things behind, to say the least, here tonight.
Just a little bit. You know, we're only 2 hours and 15 minutes behind the start of what should be the feature game at 7. But, Steve, we're here tonight. Got a couple good ball clubs going to have a good tilt here in a minute, and we're going to get this thing rolling.
Well, and one of the neat things about this game tonight is that we're about to play is, of course, the feature game always at least features one area team, but tonight we've got two. So for the local baseball fans, especially those who follow Hayes and Wellington, you get the excitement of having two Kansas teams tonight.
It is a great opportunity. With it being Sunday night, kids still not in school, and we get a good start time here. Both these guys, like I said, good following here, Wellington and Hayes. So
yeah, so the late start time won't certainly affect the kiddos who have school tomorrow because there's not school tomorrow.
That's right.
Let's run down the starting lineup for Hayes. They're the visitors. They'll bat first. Ryan Randall will lead off. He's at second base. He'll be followed by shortstop R.J. Williams. Batting third, Easton Kirk. He's the Wyatt Divis bats third. He's the third baseman. Easton Kirk hits fourth. He's the designated hitter. Jacob Boston bats fifth. He's in left field. Batting sixth, John Renzel. Renzel at first base. Clayton Raspberry hits seventh. Raspberry in right field. Batting eighth, Nick Gaddis. Gaddis behind the plate. And batting ninth, Matt Munoz. Munoz is in center field. Pitching, by the way, for the Larks is Michael Wong. Again, the lineup for Hayes: Randall, Williams, Divis, Kirk, Boston, Renzel, Raspberry, Gaddis, and Munoz, with Michael Wong on the hill. Wellington will be the home team. Their starting lineup looks this way. David Burtz will lead off. He's at second base and be followed by shortstop Alex Lyon. Luis Amaro bats third. He's the first baseman. Joe Rankin hits cleanup. He's the designated hitter. Batting fifth, Kevin Conley. Conley is at left field. Batting sixth, Alex Koch. Koch is in center field. Sam Curtis hits seventh. He's in right field. Batting eighth, Caleb Dubier, and he is behind the plate. And batting ninth, Cody Robinson. Robinson is at third base. Again, the lineup for Wellington: Burtz, Lyon, Amaro, Rankin, Conley, Koch, Curtis, Dubier, and Robinson. And those are the starting lineups for tonight's game. Now, I've just been informed Wellington is actually the visitors. I don't think that was on the original lineup that was brought to us, but nonetheless, that's going to be the case. The Heat will be the visiting team, so Wellington will actually bat first. Hayes takes the field, and another terrific night for baseball, Tommy, and this is almost a carbon copy of not just last night, but the night before that, and the night before that, and the night before that. You take away the rain night we had sometime mid last week, and we've seen just about every night what we've got tonight. 86 degrees with a light breeze out of the south.
It's a great night for ball here, Steve. Nice, 86 degrees like you said, and got a good crowd on hand, and going to enjoy some ball.
Yeah, the temperatures have been consistent, if nothing else. So Wellington will bat first as the visitors again, so that means that Michael Wong is out going through some warm-ups for the Hayes Larks, and Wong is a guy that has pitched collegiately at Pima College, and he is a freshman out of Henderson, Nevada, which is a suburb of Las Vegas. Another big guy, Tommy. He is 6'4", 225. Remember, we saw Tyler Blomster the other night for the Hayes Larks, and he is a guy that goes 6'7". Well, Michael Wong goes 6'4". This Hayes pitching staff might have the makings of a great starting five in basketball, as big as some of these guys are.
A great starting five, and training camp's opening up here at the NFL. You might have some NFL scouts here looking for linebackers. We
saw a player last night, Jack Hopt, who was a pitcher in the game we had last night in our feature game, and he was 6'9".
Oh, goodness. All right.
Yeah. So we have seen some big guys for sure pitching in this tournament. Jack Hopt, the pitcher for the San Diego Waves, who was here last night. So we're ready to go. David Burtz will step in, the second baseman for the Wellington Heat. And he's about to step in from the left side of the plate. So about 2 hours and a little more than 15 minutes after scheduled time, we're set to go. Hertz steps in. That previous game was not the only long game we've had today. We'll talk more about that in a moment on what's been a very long day overall here at Lawrence Dumont. But we're set to go, and at 9:16 Central Time, first pitch in, and it's bunted foul by Burtz. Goes back to the backstop, 0-1 to Burtz. Game time temperature 86 degrees when we start at 9:16. 0-1 to the left-handed hitting second baseman for the Wellington Heat. David Burt's in there as a left-handed hitter. Michael Wong goes through the windup and delivers. And a fastball at 90 miles an hour comes inside. 1-1 strike. Blue jerseys and white pants for the Hayes Larks. As Wong is ready and delivers, the 1-1 is high for a ball. It's 2-1. It says Larks in white capital letters across the jersey, outlined in red. Red caps with blue bills. So red, white, and blue, the color scheme as usual for the Hayes Larks. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's a fastball at 87, but again upstairs. Wellington in gold jerseys with gray pants, trimmed in maroon. It says Wellington in maroon cursive letters across the jersey, and maroon numbers in the lower left part of the jersey, and maroon numbers on the back of the jersey as well. Here's the 3-1 pitch, a fastball on the outside edge at 87 miles an hour to fill the count at 3-2 strikes. This past season was his freshman year at Pima College for Michael Wong, the right-handed pitcher for the Larks. He appeared in 13 games. The full count offering, strike 3 called, a fastball at 85, and a strikeout to start the game as Burt's goes down looking. Let's set the defense for Hayes. John Renzel is at first base. Ryan Randall is at second. R.J. Williams is at shortstop. Wyatt Divis, the third baseman. The outfield from left to right. Jacob Boston, Matt Munoz, and Clayton Raspberry with the catcher tonight for the Hayes Larks, Nick Gaddis, and Michael Wong is atop the hill going through the windup and delivering. And Alex Lyon stepping in, sends one foul out of play behind the screen. 0-1 to Lyon. It's a very herky-jerky motion for Michael Wong, the pitcher for Hayes, as he goes through the windup. And the 0-1, fastball just misses, maybe a tad high. When he starts his motion, he raises both of his hands and arms up high near above his head. Then he taps the rubber with his back right foot about 3 times, really with his heel. The toe stays engaged, but he taps on it with his heel. And then a high active leg kick, and then he comes forward with a lot of steam. He took something off there at 74, and the count's 2 balls and a strike. Wong through the wind, delivers, swung on and fouled back. Lyon evens the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alex Lyon hitless the other night when Wellington knocked off the San Diego Stars. He was 0 for 3. Both of these teams 1-0. Wellington knocked off the San Diego Stars 7-4. And it was the Hayes Larks 7, Clarinda's A's 2 Friday night here at Lawrence Dumont. That was our feature game. Pitch yanked foul outside the third base coach's box, and the count's still even 2-2. Turned into a pretty good at-bat here, Tommy.
It did. He's got a good battle going on.
Fouled off a few 2-strike pitches. Open stance for the right-handed hitting Alex Lyon, the shortstop for Wellington. Through the wind goes Wong and delivers, and another one fouled back and out of play. And the count is 2-2. Still.
Make it for some happy kids.
Yeah. Grabbing those souvenirs for sure. Speaking of souvenirs, another reason we're starting late, not just the previous game, Santa Barbara and Dodge City, but we had the home run derby after that, which took about half an hour. It was a lot of fun to watch, though. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and down goes Lyon, an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Second strikeout in as many batters faced for Michael Wong, and there's 2 away now. So Wong got David Burt's looking and Alex Lyon swinging, and here's Luis Amaro now, the first baseman. Nobody on, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Wellington batting, scoreless against the Hayes Larks. Wong through the windup, taps the rubber with the heel, delivers, swing and a miss. Something taken off at 78, 0-1.
He's got complete control right now.
And he's really fooling these hitters when he drops down about 10 miles an hour to the high 70s. And he took something off there at 80. Looked like a change that stayed outside. The count is now even, 1-1 strike. Wong through the wind again, the 1-1. High and tight, 2-1. I mentioned Wong at Pima College, the Aztecs they're called, and that's in Arizona. He, in his 13 appearances, went 2-5 in 62 innings with a 3.77 earned run average. He struck out 47. Through the wind and the 2-1, way inside, and the count's now 3-1. 6'4", 225 pounds, out of Liberty High School in Henderson, Nevada. 3 balls and a strike, the count to Luis Amaro. And the pitch. Fastball called a strike on the outside edge. And the count's full 3-2. And now Wong on the verge of striking out the side. Left-handed hitter. Amaro, the first baseman for the Wellington Heat. Through the wind goes Wong and delivers. And the 3-2. He lost his bat. Look out. That one goes flying toward the Hayes dugout. And he also got a piece of the ball, just barely fouling it back to the backstop. That was unusual.
That's the second bat that I've seen leave a player's hand in this tournament. During Friday's Lone Star and Santa Barbara game, one landed over here right off to our left, about section 110.
Hayes over there in the first base dugout. That one headed their way. Didn't go into the dugout, but it certainly got the attention of a few. But he also fouled the pitch off. You don't see bats thrown at and contact made. Here's a swing and a miss at 80 now.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, see what's happening at visitwichita.com.
Pitching for the Heat tonight, number 17, Brett Clark.
Say what? Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying when they announced that earlier. Yeah.
I thought I missed something. Yes, you did. You're funny. Well, I wonder how that happened because it's decided on a coin flip. Our thanks to Midwest Kia and Rusty Eck Ford for helping bring you our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. 3 games already in the books today, and I mentioned we've seen a lot of runs today, not only in the Santa Barbara Foresters game over Dodge City, Santa Barbara 20-12, a record-setting 32 runs in that game, but the 1:30 game had the Seattle Studs over Lone Star, Texas 7-1. However, our 11 o'clock game, it was the San Diego Stars 16, the Clarinda A's out of Iowa 8. So, Tommy, pitching badly needed today. We'll see if we get it in this game.
Well, you can tell at that Santa Barbara game, every time you look down at their bullpen, they were warming up somebody else.
Yeah, it was constant activity in that one for sure. Here we go, bottom of the first inning. Ryan Randall steps in for Hayes, and the first pitch he sees from Brett Clark is taken outside for a ball. Clark delivers one at 82. 1 ball and no strikes to Randall. He's a left-handed pitcher, is Clark, and he sends one home that's fouled back and out of play. Another one at 82, and that one lands in the seats foul down the third base side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brett Clark, familiar with the surroundings as he pitched collegiately a few years ago at Friends University here in Wichita. The 1-1, 82 miles an hour again, and just missed away. 2 balls and a strike. He has not pitched collegiately, Brett Clark, since 2016, which was his second year pitching at Friends. Pitch swung on, bouncing ball to second. David Burtz a couple of steps to his right, throws to first in time. A 4-3 putout, 1 away. Luis Amaro is the first baseman for Wellington. Burtz is at second. Alex Lyon at short. Cody Robinson at third. The outfield from left to right, Kevin Connolly, Alex Koch, and Sam Curtis. Caleb Dubier is behind the plate, and Brett Clark atop the mound for the Wellington Heat. Here's shortstop R.J. Williams for the Hayes Larks. Through the wind goes Clark and delivers another one at 82. Outside, he is consistent, Tommy. That's at least 4 pitches now at 82.
Trying to find a zone. And
this one a little bit low. And the count now 2 balls and no strikes to R.J. Williams. Williams, a smallish right-handed hitter. Clark ready through the wind, and the lefty delivers upstairs. And he added something there, 83 he got to. The count's now 3-0. Outfield plays R.J. Williams shallow, especially in center field. Alex Koch in center playing very, very shallow as the pitch is in for his strike, 3-1. Williams, though, with the count 3-0, was taking all the way. So the 3-1 pitch. High ball 4, and down to first base goes R.J. Williams. So a one-out walk, and Hayes with a runner at first base. Brett Clark had 29 career appearances at Friends University in Wichita. 25 of the 29 were as a starter, so only 4 in relief. His career record in 2 seasons, 11-10. With a 3.04 ERA. The first pitch to Wyatt Davis gets away from Dubier behind the plate, but the runner will not advance. So the pitch, a ball to Davis, 1-0, but Williams stays at first.
Make sure to check them out.
Brett Clark, a lefty, so base runners for Hayes will have to be very mindful of his move. The pitch up high for a ball. 2 quick balls for Brett Clark.
See how he's holding the runner on. Anything close to what the Hayes pitcher was doing, or excuse me, Clarinda the other night.
Williams gets his lead. Clark throws that way, and Williams back in easily, standing up. In 2 seasons at Friends, Brett Clark walked 47 and struck out 124. So pretty nice strikeout to walk ratio, but here he misses again, and the count's 3-0. So he walked R.J. Williams, and he's behind in the count here to Wyatt Davis. 3 balls and no strikes. Runner at first, 1 out, bottom of the first, scoreless, and a strike in at 81 as he catches the outside half. 3 balls and a strike. Davis was taking that time as well, as was the previous hitter, R.J. Williams, on a 3-0 pitch. Now the 3-1 to Davis, swung on and lifted, slicing deep to left field. Conley going back and still going back at the track, makes the catch, backpedaling in front of the fence. That one got up into the wind, Tommy, as the runner retreats to first. The wind probably blowing around 15 miles an hour, but that one was hit so high, it really did get up into the jet stream.
It did, and you see the outfielder track it down really well, catching it on the warning track.
It looked at first like it might be a routine fly ball, and I think that Conley thought the same thing. Then all of a sudden he's backing up, still backing up, still backing up, and then about halfway deep on the warning track out there in front of the fence, he makes the catch. So runner at first, 2 outs now for designated hitter Easton Kirk. A left-handed batter chops one foul at the plate, and it dribbles behind it, 0-1. Lawrence Dumont Stadium, 330 down the lines, 385 to the power alleys, 400 feet to straightaway center field. A symmetrical ballpark here in downtown Wichita. 0-1. Clark will throw to first. It's a mostly chain link fence and left to left center, right and right center, but it's solid red in straightaway center field, then a huge green batter's eye wall behind it. High bouncing ball to second.
The wait is over. The multi-platinum award-winning duo Sugarland back on tour for the first time in 5 years. Still the same 2018 tour. Saturday, August 18th at Entrust Bank Arena. The undeniable distinctive sound of Sugarland with special guests Frankie Ballard and Lindsay L. Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com. Get ready for Sugarland.
Honored client for everything they do for our vets.
Plus I want to play golf.
Make sure to toss your empty beer cans into one of the 4 cans and trash cans located on the first base concourse. Proceeds will help send the vet to DC.
Don't forget, in the 7th inning of our game tonight, we'll have our hamburger meal giveaway, courtesy of Champs Sports Bar and Grill. It'll be a hamburger, french fries, and non-alcoholic beverage, courtesy of our sponsor of the NBC World Series, or one of them, Champs Sports Bar and Grill. Ready for the 2nd inning now, scoreless. Each team hitless and scoreless in inning number 1. Joe Rankin, the designated hitter, about to step in for the Wellington Heat. Not sure what he's talking about, Tommy, but he was having a conversation with home plate umpire Greg Mudd for a little bit. Mike Lentz, the first base umpire, Conan Strobel over at third. I don't know if you caught what that was about.
I did not.
All right, so Rankin steps in. Michael Wong through the windup delivers a fastball called to strike on the outside edge at 88 miles an hour to the right-handed hitter, 0-1. Michael Wong, a perfect start for him, striking out the side. Now the 0-1. That one a breaking ball, a slider that misses away at 73 miles an hour. And that'll even things up at 1-1. We saw very few off-speed pitches from Wong in the top of the 1st inning. The 1-1. He did take something off again there. Might be the first time tonight he's thrown back-to-back sliders. That one, though, a good one, a strike. It's 1-2.
And they are not. They cannot get any contact off him right now.
Really doing a good job of now starting to mix things up. Here's the 1-2. A change. Oh, that was a little bit high at 72. Not much movement on that one. He just took a lot off, but stayed upstairs. Counts even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Through the windup goes Wong, and the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. That is 4 straight strikeouts to start the game for Michael Wong. And the last 3 in a row have been strikeouts swinging. The first one of the night, he caught David Birch looking.
You get so few opportunities, and he keeps doing this. It's going to be a quick one.
Well, we're due for one after what we've had earlier today.
Absolutely.
Here's Kevin Conley, the left fielder now. Right-handed hitter steps in, takes a fastball on the outside edge, 0-1. It seems also, Tommy, and one thing that's helping is the strike zone seems to be a little bigger than other nights we've been up here before.
I'm probably thinking the same thing.
Greg Mudd appears to have a pretty generous zone. I don't think Connolly went around there, but that one a strike. Nothing in too quickly. 88 miles an hour. So Wong in a groove, working quickly, and why change anything the way he's dealing right now? Swung on and fouled back to the screen on an 0-2. So Wong didn't play around there. He still challenged him on to 0-2, gave him something out over the plate, but Conley unable to do anything with it other than send it straight back. No balls and 2 strikes. Wong set, delivers, down and in. Took something off there. And that is a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I wonder if that tap that he does kind of throws a batter off some.
It is a little bit unusual as he delivers a slider outside, 2-2. I feel like it's probably more for his benefit for a rhythm and timing thing.
Good point.
Kind of like a golfer's waggle right before he starts his swing. It probably just helps him with his timing, get into a rhythm. He'll start his front leg motion, then that right foot that is engaged with the rubber taps on the rubber 3 times, then he finishes his motion. And at 87 miles an hour, he just got Kevin Conley to swing and miss, and that is 5 straight strikeouts to start the game. What a start for Michael Wong. 2 outs, 5 in the game recorded by Wong, all strikeouts. Here's Alex Koch, the center fielder. Wong ready again. Delivers to Koch, and that one misses. Fastball at 89. Up high, 1 ball and no strikes.
We need a crack staff to find out if that's anything close to a record there.
To start a game, it might well be. 1-0, and the pitch a little bit tight. Talked earlier about home plate umpire Greg Mudd, maybe with a generous strike zone. That would look like it might have caught the inside edge, but called a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Wong ready and delivers the 2-0, and that one way inside, and the count's now 3-0. So we'll see if this is the end of the line of perfection for Michael Wong, who has faced 5 batters and struck out every one of them so far. He steps behind the rubber, rubs up the baseball, regathers. You can assume Koch will be taking here. Wong certainly thinking about that. The 3-0 Right on the outside edge. It's a strike, 3-1. Wong right back up and ready to go again. Checks in at Giddis. And here comes the 3-1 offering. Swung on and missed, strike through, and he's worked to count full now at 3-2. That one was at 85. Nobody on, 2 outs. Top of the second inning, scoreless game. Neither team has yet to pick up a base hit. Wong was about to start his windup, then stepped off momentarily. Now re-engages, and here he goes. The 3-2. Fouled right back by us. Oh, that was the closest 1-2 so far. Tommy G, you stuck your hand up and almost squashed it between it and the window there.
Right.
In the previous game, one went into the booth right next to us to our left. But we have yet to have one come here. But in this tournament, they've been all around us. Here's the 3-2. Another one sent back this direction, a little bit farther to the left and up high. And the count's still full at 3-2.
That might have brought a choice word or two if that had happened.
Yeah. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wong set. Through the wind again and delivers. And that one inside, ball 4. And listen to the crowd. They were oohing and on, Tommy. That one was close.
It sure was.
So Koch draws a walk, and that is the first base runner of the game for Wellington. Not a big deal, just the second inning. But what is significant is it breaks a string of 5 consecutive strikeouts from Michael Wong. Well, if there's somebody that's got to be real happy with what he's seeing, it's the head baseball coach at the University of Texas at Arlington, because that is Wong's next stop collegiately. There goes the runner with 2 outs. The pitch home is high. The throw to second is also high. It goes into center field. Alex Koch not going anywhere toward third, but he did get his stolen base, and now he's at second base. But just about 2 months ago, Michael Wong committed to play baseball at the University of Texas Arlington after starting his career at Pima College. He's also listed on the Pima roster as an infielder. Wong ready, delivers, and a slider. Catches the outside corner again. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Sam Curtis, the right fielder. Alex Koch at second. He walked and just stole second with 2 outs. Scoreless, top of the second. Wellington with their first base runner in scoring position. Here's the 1-1, and a slider again. Catches the outside edge, and this strike zone, Tommy, is really expansive.
I just about to say there, they looked outside to me.
1 ball, 2 strikes, but it's been consistent so far, so that just tells Wellington hitters they need to swing if it's anywhere close. Second baseman Randall cheats over toward the bag at first. Another slider swung on and
Wichita.org.
Our thanks to Just Right Auto Repair for sponsoring our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series, and also Shire Graphics, another one of our fine sponsors. As we continue to cover this NBC, here we go. Bottom of the second inning, Jacob Boston steps in for the Hayes Larks. Takes a strike from Brett Clark. 0-1 to Boston. That was a fastball at 80 miles an hour by Clark. Scoreless game, bottom of the second inning. All goose eggs on the scoreboard, including the runs, hits, and error column for these two teams. Breaking ball down low, 1-1. Boston, then John Renzel and Clayton Raspberry, 5, 6, and 7 for Hayes, who managed just one base runner in the first inning. That was a walk by R.J. Williams. Here, a slow bouncing ball to deep second. David Burtz backs up on it a little bit, then fields and fires to first, one away. That's something, though, Tommy Gallegos, you can afford to do on this infield, which for those of our listeners don't know is an all artificial surface field.
Taking the time to when the ball gets to you, you got to set and throw the ball over. You'll see it right now. Well, you can't see it. My apologies, but
John Renzel steps in, slow breaking ball in for a strike, 0-1. Well, our YouTube viewers can see it, but those listening on the radio, you're right. All artificial surface except for the pitcher's mound, which is dirt. High bouncing ball, this time behind the bag. It's short, and it's deflected by Alex Lyon, the shortstop, and on into center field. That'll be an E6 almost certainly. That puts a runner at first base.
Right fielder number 15, Clayton
and just as you said, just the way they're playing on the field, these guys, the second baseman and the shortstop were backed up, so he took a nice hard bounce there.
Lyon was moving to his left behind the bag, and they're actually going to put a base hit up on the board, as perhaps that took a tricky hop. He was shuffling his feet to behind the bag and reached up. It caught the top part of his glove as he reached up for that hopper, but deflected off of it into center field. First pitch now to Clayton Raspberry, a strike, and he has seen two now, and it's 1-1, but hit, error, regardless of what you think it was. Runner at first base, one out. Bottom of the second inning, Hayes and Wellington scoreless. Raspberry reaches out and pokes one over toward the third base coach's box. Drifting over is Cody Robinson. He'll make the catch almost right in the middle of the box for the second out of the inning. Well, with one out in the first inning, Hayes got a runner aboard. One out in the second inning, the same thing happens. We'll see if Nick Gaddis now can move John Renzel around from first base. Scoreless, bottom of the second. Gaddis is the catcher for the Larks, right-handed hitter. And he sends one high and deep, but hooking and foul. He hit that one long enough, Tommy, for a home run, but not straight enough.
Just if it would have stayed just a little bit right, that was gone with no doubt.
It was reminiscent of some of the shots we saw in the home run derby about an hour ago. Boy, we saw some towering home runs in that. Swing and a miss, and he throws his bat at this one towards the third base dugout, which is occupied by Wellington. So already here in the early going, we've seen two flying baseball bats. One to the first base dugout and one to the third. One of the Wellington players, I don't think he had any ill intentions. He just tossed the bat back to Gaddis, but it bounced around near the plate, and the home plate umpire didn't like that.
And neither did the crowd.
0-2, the count at the plate to Gaddis. And the pitch swung on and missed strike three on a 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball, and down go the Larks. So for the second inning in a row, a one-out base runner goes by the wayside for the Larks. We go to the third, scoreless at the 84th NBC World Series on KQAM. 150 yards.
And when you shop and donate at Goodwill, you give people with disabilities and other barriers purpose, pride, and dignity. Learn more about how Goodwill helps create a stronger community at goodwillks.org. And check out your program for a money-saving coupon to use on your next visit to Goodwill.
You can get $50 off any plumbing or electrical service call at Faunastock. Give them a call at 943-HEAT, 943-HEAT. Faunastock. They'll do you the deal, sponsoring our 84th NBC World Series coverage. Here we go now, top of the third inning. Caleb Dubier leads off for Wellington, speaking of heat, and he steps in and takes the first pitch for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes from Michael Wong. Dubier, then Cody Robinson and David Burtz, 8, 9, and 1 in the order for Wellington in a scoreless game, and Dubier sends this one to center field, but pretty much right at Matt Munoz, who makes the catch, and there's one away.
Didn't have to move there very much.
And that is the first batted ball put in play by Wellington. There have been 6 strikeouts by Michael Wong so far in the game, and he issued a walk to Alex Koch in the second inning. That's the first batted ball put in play. Here's Cody Robinson now, taking a fastball on the outside edge to the right-handed hitter. A strike, 0-1. That one at 85 miles an hour. I mentioned that Michael Wong is now on his way to the University of Texas at Arlington after pitching at Pima College in Arizona, as a slider comes in and misses 1-1. And I also talked earlier about the fact that he is listed as a pitcher and infielder. Well, he had a pretty nice season at the plate. 244 average, 31 hits, 18 runs batted in at Pima as well. So this guy a dual threat, Tommy. He can get it done with the stick as well. A strike there, and it's 1-2.
Making yourself versatile. It gets you recruiters on you, and maybe in the major leagues or at least professional ball.
The more you can do, the more valuable you can be for your team. Hot shot up the middle and through for a base hit. That was right back at Wong, who couldn't reach down in time. And the first base hit of the game, of all people, the number 9 hitter in the order for Wellington, Cody Robinson, a 1-out single.
Right there, just barely out of his grasp, but you get that ball on the carpet and it's going to grow.
So here's David Burtz now as we go back to the top of the order. I'm going to sound like a broken record for a while, but Burtz, to start the string, struck out his last time up. We're going to say that about the next 5 hitters. Pitch down, and it's in the turf. It deflects off of Nick Gaddis, goes behind him, and the runner heading to second. So a wild pitch will send Cody Robinson to second base.
Don't know if he lost that ball or not, but he skipped that off the front.
So the first signs that Michael Wong is actually human here in the third inning. He's given up his first base hit, and now a wild pitch sends Cody Robinson to second base. Scoreless top of the third, each team now with a hit. And Wellington trying to get the first run of the game up there. Swing and a miss, 74 miles an hour at changeup. Wong took a lot off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good setup fastball, comes back with that off speed.
Wong working from the stretch for just the second time tonight, delivers a fastball in tight, 1-1. Of the 6 strikeouts for Michael Wong so far, David Burtz is the only one, the batter who's up there now, that was caught looking. All of the other 5 were strikeouts swinging. Breaking ball there, swung on and missed at 75, and the count now level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Because of the all-turf field here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, Ryan Randall is playing out on the, we can't call it cut of the grass, it's turf, but on the green. You get the idea. You can play very deep at your positions on the infield here because the ball scoots to you so quickly. Pitch inside for a ball, and it's 3-2. For right-handed hitters, you'll see the shortstops do that sometime. They'll play back there behind the brown turf and on the green, which could be considered a shallow part of the outfield. But with the lefty up there, it's Randall doing that out at second base. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Lined into right field. Coming on is Raspberry. He's not going to get there. He'll have to play it on a hop in deep right field. They'll stop the runner at third. Well, an interesting decision there by Wellington, as Raspberry was just coming up with a baseball when the stop sign was put at third, but they hold Robinson there after the 1-out single for David Burtz.
Nice solid hit. You've seen the outfielder, the right fielder out there trying to make it, set himself so he'd be able to get the ball on the hop.
You have to get the feeling you're not going to get many chances if you're Wellington. So from that regard and where the ball was in fairly deep right center field. I'm a little surprised they didn't try to send the runner, but the flip side is if you're at the top of the order with your best hitters, here's Alex Lyon, the shortstop. First pitch to him. A breaking ball at 72, a strike, 0-1. The other thing is, Tommy, this is now the second time through the lineup for Wellington. Maybe the Heat feel like they're starting to get their timing down. Thus, a better opportunity to score with that runner at third.
That, and as you said earlier, Steve, it's the, the zone is big enough right here. They've got to get up there and swing that bat.
Another throw over to first, this time just a lob, just to keep David Burt's honest over there. You'd think that Wellington might be thinking steal here to take away the possibility of a ground ball double play on the infield. In fact, there he goes. Pitch swung on and fouled at the plate. So that's exactly what Wellington was thinking and why Wong continued to throw over to first base.
It looked like the catcher there was hit.
I think he took one back there. Not an easy job. Nick Gaddis, the catcher for Hayes, is okay, though. Squatting down now with a count 0-2 at the plate to Alex Lyon. Struck out swinging in the first. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled out of play. And the count is 0-2. That one was a fastball at 87 miles an hour. Runners at the corners, one out. Top of the third inning in a scoreless game. Both of these two teams 1-0 so far in championship week. So getting to 2-0 is huge. Gives you great leverage towards playing in the 8-team playoff starting on Thursday for the championship that will take place Saturday night. No balls and 2 strikes again. Alex Lyon, the shortstop, right-handed hitter for Wellington up there. Ready, and the 0-2. Bounced outside the bag, foul. And the count still 0-2. There are 4 pools in championship week and 4 teams in each pool. And then at the end of the night on Wednesday, the top 2 teams in each pool, meaning 8 teams, will start a playoff tournament on Thursday for the championship crowned on Saturday night. Here's the 0-2. High. Snap throw to first, but back diving in is Burt's.
As you alluded to, Steve, these guys are 1-0. You want to get in the driver's seat of this tournament here.
And that's the significance of getting a win in this game. Somebody's going to be 2-0, and somebody's going to be 1-1. Big difference. 1-2 here. The pitch. Change up stays upstairs at 70 miles an hour, and the count now even at 2-2.
It didn't so much happen with the first week, but this week you might you pick up a loss, and you have to start looking at runs scored, whatnot.
All kinds of tiebreaker formulas, you're right, Tommy, to try to separate 4 teams in one pool when you're taking the top 2. 2-2, and the pitch high and tight. Ball 3-2. So Wong starting to battle here in the third after he struck out the side in both the first and second innings. He's given up a couple of base hits, 2 runners on now. And the leadoff batter, don't forget, hit a pretty well-struck ball to center field. That was Caleb Dubier. So even that out was a pretty well-struck ball.
Yes, it was.
Throw over to first as Wong continues to pay attention there. But he's got to pay attention and focus at the plate where the count's 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. There goes the runner, the pitch, line foul right side. And the count holds at 3-2. So Wellington puts the runner in motion again as Burt's broke to second base, trying to avoid the possibility of a ground ball double play, also getting him in motion in the event that Lyon is able to put good wood on the baseball. So we'll try it again at 3-2, and we'll see if Burt's is leaving again. Through the stretch goes Wong. He is going. The pitch high and away, ball 4, and down to first base goes Lyon. They are loaded for Wellington here in the top of the third inning.
Like you said, finding out that he's more human than we thought when he began the game.
He was untouchable through 2, but vulnerable here. In fact, there's going to be a timeout, and the pitching coach is out of the dugout for Hayes, and there's going to be a conversation out on the mound. Our thanks to Taco Prano for sponsoring our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. Hey, Tuesday's right around the corner, and at Taco Prano, it's 60-cent Taco Tuesday. Also, ask them about their Money Saver Combo. Taco Prano, 2 Wichita locations, sponsoring our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. And Team Electric, also a sponsor that we want to thank for participating in our coverage of this tournament at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, where we will not be next year. The plan right now is to be at X Stadium at Wichita State and then come back here again in 2020 after this stadium is torn down and rebuilt. All right, Greg Mudd has broken up the conversation out on the hill. And here we go. Big part of the game early. Bases loaded, 1 out. Top of the 3rd inning in a scoreless game, but Wellington is threatening. And they've got Luis Amaro, their first baseman, about to step in. Wyatt Divis over at 3rd is playing a long way off the 3rd baseline. He is about halfway between 3rd and short. And the pitch swung on, that's why. It's a pull down the right side for Amaro, heading to the corner. This will be extra bases, and it's going to score 2. They're going to stop the runner from 1st at 3rd. That's Lyon, but a 2 RBI double for Luis Amaro, and Wellington has taken a 2-0 lead.
Poke that down the right field line. Runner, as you said with the alignment there, now we got 2 runs in. It wasn't a very hard hit, but it was enough to get those runs over.
Yeah, he just kind of reached out across the plate, the left-handed hitter did, and poked that one down the right field line, and it hooked. And by the time Raspberry got over there, Robinson obviously scored from 3rd, but also David Burtz from 2nd, and Wellington may not be done. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out now for Joe Rankin, who takes a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. So 2-0 Heat now with the lead on the 2 RBI double for Luis Amaro. Joe Rankin, 0-1, takes down and away to even the count at 1-1.
This inning alone, that's Wong's 25th pitch.
And Luis Amaro is now 3 for 7 in this tournament, so good first game plus a couple innings for him. Fastball at the knees. Oh, and Rankin did not like that, shaking his head, walking away, and it did look low. At 87, he's talking right now with Greg Mudd. But called a strike, and it's 1-2. Lyon the runner at 3rd, Amaro at 2nd with his 2 RBI double. Wellington leading 2-0, and this one definitely low. And the count will even up now at 2-2. Rankin struck out to lead off the 2nd inning. 0 for 1. 2 for 6 in the World Series now after his 0 for 1 start tonight. He was 2 for 5 the other night. Bouncing ball to 2nd, fielded there by Randall. That'll get the run home, though. It'll be an RBI ground out for Rankin as Lyon scores. It's 3-0 Wellington, and down to 3rd base goes Luis Amaro.
Just great base running right there, getting it over, station to station.
He hit it to the right side of the infield, which is what you want to do to get the runner from either 2nd to 3rd or 3rd to home, and in this case, both of those things accomplished. And it's Lyon that scores the 3rd run of the inning now for Wellington, and it's 3-0. Here's Kevin Conley, the left fielder, taking a strike. And that one at 69 miles an hour, the off-speed pitch. 0-1 to Conley. Wong, a fastball this time, outside corner at the knees, a strike. 0-2.
Still got plenty of gas there. He's reaching back there and tossing that ball.
Looks like he may have just regathered his thoughts and focus too and started throwing strikes again. A breaking ball here, but you can afford to throw one away at 0-2. That one down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Conley. Conley, the 5th consecutive strikeout victim by Wong to start the game. It was the 2nd out of the 2nd inning. 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He took something off.
Good evening and welcome to the NBC World Series. I'm KSN Storm Track 3 meteorologist Rodney Price. It is going to be a rather toasty evening outside. Temperatures will be in the lower 90s, that persistent south wind, and just a few clouds around. Through the evening hours, though, looking pretty good. We'll drop back into the low 70s, but more heat on the way for your Monday. That sizzle in the afternoon, 98 degrees with a partly cloudy sky. It looks dry during the daytime, but I think thunderstorm chances will start to pick up Monday night and especially into Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your evening at the ballpark.
Well, Brett Clark, the starting pitcher for the Wellington Heat, now has a little bit of a cushion as his bats helped give Wellington a 3-0 lead as we start the bottom of inning number 3. 3 runs, 3 hits for Wellington, no runs and a hit for the Hayes Larks, who will send up Matt Munoz to start the bottom of the 3rd. Munoz, the number 9 hitter in the Larks order. Then we'll go back to the top with Ryan Randall and R.J. Williams. So Munoz is in from the left side of the plate, and he takes a 77-mile-an-hour offering from Clark outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Munoz set again and swings at the second pitch and lifts it high into shallow left field. The shortstop, Alex Lyon, going back, and it'll actually be the left fielder, Kevin Conley, that comes on. Conley gives way, or calls off Lyon, I should say, and makes the catch 1 away. Well, they say, Tommy, that the outfielder's got the best angle, so it looked for a while like Lyon might make that catch. Then he got called off at the last minute.
As should be. You know, he's going back, doesn't even see the ball or where he's going, so he has to rely on him.
Ryan Randall steps in now, takes a breaking ball down and in for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Randall started the bottom of the 1st inning by grounding out to second base. This time a fastball misses away, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Randall 2 for 6 in the World Series. He was 2 for 5 in the 7-2 win over Clarinda Friday. Takes a strike here, and it's now 2-1. Randall's from Garland, Texas, attending Abilene Christian University. Takes a fastball for a strike on the outside half, and the count's level now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 down low, and that'll fill the count 3-2.
Although only 1 strikeout, Clark has got what he needed. His team has set him up with 3 runs on the board.
Clark through the wind, now ready, and the 3-2 up high, ball 4. And that'll be a full count walk issued to Ryan Randall. He'll make his way down to first base. Second walk of the game issued by Brett Clark. And R.J. Williams, the shortstop, who actually was issued the first walk back in the 1st inning, will step in now. So Brett Clark will go back to the stretch now and deliver a fastball on the inner half, a strike. 0-1 to Williams.
The last batter walking up, the catcher was having some words with the umpire as well.
This one down low, the runner heading to second base. He's going to get there without a throw because Caleb Dubier behind the plate couldn't find the baseball in time. It was a breaking ball down low, and it pinballed around at the feet of Dubier, and by the time he located it, Ryan Randall was well on his way to second base. That's a wild pitch that came in down low that puts Randall at second. So for the first time tonight, Hayes with a runner in scoring position. And the 1-1, a big swing and a miss, and an 82-mile-an-hour fastball. Williams comes up empty, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Looks like he's swinging for the fences there. All he needs is a base hit, get his man over.
Clark a long look in at his catcher, and now he's got to step off the rubber. And now he'll ask Dubier to go through the signs again, and the timer expires between pitches. That is a ball. And now Dubier is up asking Greg Mudd something, but they've issued a ball because the 20-second timer between pitches expired.
Well, both catcher and pitcher got to pay attention to the clock as well.
It's an added dimension at the NBC you always have to be mindful of. Here's the 2-2 pitch now. Lifted high center field. A.J. Koch going back a few steps, under it, Camps makes the catch. Runner will hold at second base on a high fly ball to center field, 2 away.
Both these teams so far are handling the, as the ball gets up into the jet stream, handling it pretty well.
It's out of the south toward left field, the breeze is, at about 15 miles an hour. So a significant breeze tonight. Still a very nice night for baseball. 85 degrees right now here in Wichita. Through the stretch goes goes Brett Clark and delivers to Wyatt Divis. Down low for a ball, 1-0. Divis 0 for 1. Flew out to left back in the 1st inning, and his fly ball actually was one the other way that continued to carry once it got up into the wind. Clark stretches, looks back at second, delivers home. Foul ball out of play, 1-1.
Just don't hit my truck, okay?
Well, you got to strategically park it here to make sure that doesn't happen. But there aren't many places that are safe. The way
This
these
is true.
parking lots are located around the stadium. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. Clark took something off there at 76, called a strike on the inner edge. Brett Clark, I mentioned he attended Friends University in Wichita, but prior to that, he was at Gateway Community College, where he had a 5-5 record in 75 innings his sophomore year. That was back in 2014. He gave up 65 hits that year in 75 innings. Delivers high and away with a fastball, 2-2.
You know what I'm saying? A couple years ago, that's when he last pitched. I wonder if he's a grad assistant or something.
Yeah, a lot of these guys do stay in and around the game once their playing days are over. He had a 1-point ERA, 1.8 at Gateway in 2014. Pitch chopped at the plate, foul. That was a really nice season for him, Tommy, to go 75 innings and a 1.8 ERA. He struck out 54 in 2014 at Gateway Community College and walked just 18. His team was ranked number 20. Or excuse me, he was ranked number 20 in ERA and 33rd in innings pitched. So he had a very good 2014 season at Gateway. Pitch down and away for a ball. The count's full, 3-2 to Wyatt Divis. Full count, runner at second, bottom of the third. Wellington 3, Hayes nothing. Larks trying to get Ryan Randall around from second base. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted left side. The third baseman Robinson is over, and he's calling in foul ground. He reaches back.
At Davis Moore, we pride ourselves on our ability to provide a safe and reliable driving experience to all of our customers. When we say that safety is our top priority, we mean it. That's why every single one of our pre-owned vehicles goes through a 171-point inspection before it ever goes on our lot. And with our Davis Moore 360 guarantee, you can drive forever, worry-free. So let us prove to you that we have the best car care and best customer experience, and why nobody beats a Davis Moore deal. Come by any one of our 5 Davis Moore locations or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
I laugh at that commercial every time at the end of it.
Cherry Oaks Golf Course in Cheney sponsoring our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. It's a private golf course atmosphere in a public setting. A great place to play golf. Cherry Oaks Golf Course in Cheney. Here we go, 4th inning. It'll be Alex Koch to lead off for the Wellington Heat. And he sends one pretty well struck to right field, but right at Clayton Raspberry, who backs up a couple of steps and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out to start the 4th inning. Only 2 batters for Wellington did not hit in the top of the 3rd inning. Koch was one, and the batter coming up to the plate now, Sam Curtis the other. They sent 7 to the plate, scored 3 times, and left 1 at 3rd. 3-0 Wellington here in the top of the 4th inning. Curtis steps in, a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. And the first pitch taken, it's a strike, 0-1. That one an 84-mile-an-hour fastball. 7 strikeouts in the game for Michael Wong, but only 1 in the 3rd inning where he struggled and gave up all 3 runs. The 0-1 took something off there. Down and away, though. That'll even things up 1-1.
I got Sam Curtis as a pitcher, too.
0 for 4 in the tournament. He was 0 for 3 Friday night, then an 0 for 1 start tonight as Curtis sends one foul off to our right. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Sam Curtis. He's out of Lincoln, California, and graduated from William Jessup, where he played collegiately. 6 feet, 170 pounds, 22 years old. Here's the 1-2 to Curtis, chopped foul over toward the 3rd base dugout. And the count is 1-2 still. So we'll see if Michael Wong had some time to regroup over in the dugout, and if he is the pitcher we saw in the first couple of innings where he was dominating, or the one in the third where he really struggled. Hot shot on a couple of hops to short, fielded cleanly by R.J. Williams. A throw to first and a little bit wide. Nice stretch, though, by Renzel, stretching towards right field to dig that one out. Good play, 6-3 for out number 2. Boy, Renzel
nice hit.
Really had to reach that time.
He did. Way to play the first base the way he did.
So Caleb Dubier now, the catcher, will step in. He's 0 for 1, having flown out to center field in the last inning. And the pitch swung on, a breaking ball, and he tipped it at the plate. 0-1. This is the final game today on Sundays at the NBC. The 7 o'clock scheduled game is the last game. They start the first game instead of at 1. They started at 11 o'clock. Pitch down and in. 1-1 the count to Dubier.
One of the best things they could do for a Sunday especially.
That game today was the San Diego Stars 16-8 over the Clarinda, Iowa A's. Pitch down and away to the right-handed hitting Dubier, and the count is now 2-1. 16-8, the Stars of San Diego over Clarinda in the first game. Then 7-1, the Seattle Studs over Lone Star of Texas, before the wild one that started at 3:30. Down and away again, and it's now 3-1.
Wild and long.
20-12, the score as the Santa Barbara Foresters knocked off the Dodge City A's. 3-1, and the pitch down low, ball 4. And that will send the runner down to first base, a 2-out walk. Looks like the name is Doubler. I apologize. It looked like an I on the scorecard, the lineup card that was handed to me, as if it was Dubier, but apparently that's an L for Doubler, so my apologies. Here's Cody Robinson now, the third baseman. And the first pitch to him. Breaking ball outside for a ball. 0-1. The initial lineup cards we get are oftentimes, Tommy, photocopies, very faded sometimes.
Don't know if you're getting the third or fourth sheet on it either.
Yeah. Little soft liner by Robinson out into shallow right field. That'll be a base hit. Doubler will stop at second base. So a little 2-out rally now here for Wellington, as they've gotten a walk and a single after it was 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th inning.
Taking that to the right, just over the outreach of the second baseman there.
So Doubler stops at second base. Robinson is at first. 2 on, 2 outs as we go back to the top of the order with second baseman David Burtz. Burtz is 1 for 2. He singled and scored back in the 3rd inning after getting caught looking to start the game. Wong stretches and delivers down low. Good stop behind the plate by Nick Gaddis. 1 ball, no strikes. Now Gaddis wants to come talk to his pitcher. And there is activity now down in the Hayes bullpen. Who would have thought that a couple of innings ago, the way that Michael Wong started?
No kidding, I sure wouldn't.
He started off on fire, but now he is struggling here with runners at first and second, 2 outs. Left-handed batter, Burtz, and he leans out of the way of that one inside, and the count's now 2-1. Runners get their leads. Doubler at second, Robinson at first. 2 balls, no strikes. The count at the plate to David Burtz, who sends one high and deep to right field. This one well struck. This one is back, and it's going to bounce over the fence for a ground rule double. That's a break for Hayes because only 1 run will score. That's Doubler from second base. If that ball is not a ground rule double, it will easily score 2 with the runners in motion, but only 1 run gets to score. Doubler from second. Cody Robinson stops at third on the RBI double for Burtz. It's now 4-0. Wellington with the lead, and this might be the end of the line for Michael Wong.
And going back to what you said earlier, his first 2 innings of work, you would have never thought would be in this place right now.
He struck out 6 through 2 innings. And that will do it for Michael Wong, who's string was short-lived. Pitching change being made. Top of the 4th inning with the score, Wellington 4, Hayes nothing, and Wellington may not be done here in the top of the 4th, but we'll talk about that after timeout. This is the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM. Well, Austin Thomason, the new pitcher for the Hayes Larks, who has been called on to stop the bleeding here in the top of the 4th inning. 4-0 the score, the Wellington Heat over the Hayes Larks, as Wellington not only held in check through the first 2 innings, but they had 6 strikeouts in those first 2 innings. As Michael Wong struck out the side in back-to-back innings, but he was nowhere near the same since, Tommy. So here's Alex Lyon now stepping in with runners at 2nd and 3rd. A pair in scoring position for the Heat, already up 4-0 and looking for more. Lyon, right-handed hitter, swings and misses at a breaking ball down and in. 0-1 to Lyon.
Wong came unraveled pretty quickly, finishing with 89 pitches.
It seems like about 69 of those came in the 3rd and the 4th inning. 0-1, the count to Lyon. Through this stretch, Thomason, and sends one home, a slider, fouled back and out of play. And quickly, Thomason ahead in the count, 0-2. Austin Thomason from Peoria, Arizona, and attending Angelo State University down in Texas, where he just pitched in 7 innings this past season. So very limited work for him. 2.57 his earned run average. He works from the stretch, and with 2 on and 2 outs, he delivers a fastball down and away at 86 miles an hour.
Down there out of the Lone Star Conference.
That's right. Good Division II baseball conference. Through this stretch goes Thomason, looks over at 3rd. Nobody holding either runner on in the pitch. Hot shot into right center field. That's down for a base hit. It's going to roll for a while, and it's going to score 2. And now breaking for 2nd is Lyon. He'll get there with a head-first slide. A 2 RBI single. It's 6-0 Wellington.
That's a nice solid hit right there, right up the middle. You got your 2 runs in.
And pretty good hustle, too. That looked like it might be a fairly routine single to right center, but Lyon with 2 outs was motoring around first and ended up with a double.
Finished with a double, put himself in scoring position. 2 down.
So Robinson scores from 3rd, and from 2nd, Burtz. And Wellington now has a pair of 3-run innings. Here's Luis Amaro, who was instrumental in their 3-run 3rd inning with a 2 RBI double that he hooked down the right field line. He's up there now with a chance to do more damage for his team. 6-0 Wellington here in the 4th. Swing and a miss at a 79-mile-an-hour pitch, and the count is 0-1.
That's a pretty mean swing right there.
No record for Austin Thomason at Angelo State in just the 7 innings this past season. He did walk 3, but struck out 12. Now they've got the runner hung up between 2nd and 3rd. The throw to 3rd, and he is out. As Lyon broke for 3rd, the throw came in behind him, so the putout goes 6-5, and the side retired, but not before the 2nd consecutive 3-run inning for the Wellington Heat. After 3.5, Wellington 6, Hayes nothing at the 84th NBC on KQAM.
Won't you come dream with me now, yeah. Chasing down a beautiful dream.
Can he even get up? He drinks a whiskey drink. He drinks a lager drink. He drinks a lager drink.
Our thanks to Midwest Kia and Rusty Eck Ford for sponsoring our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series, where tonight the Hayes Larks have their backs to the wall, down 6-0 as we start the bottom of inning number 4. So it'll be Easton Kirk, Jacob Boston, and John Renzel, 4, 5, and 6 for the Larks, trailing 6-0, excuse me. Pitch down and in to the right-handed hitting Kirk, and the count is 1-1 strike to him.
I just said back to the wall. These batters are coming to the plate looking to get 6 runs on one hit.
Brett Clark through the wind, delivers high for a ball. And the count's now 2-1 to Kirk, who is 0 for 1, grounded out to second to end the bottom of the first inning. Takes outside here, and is ahead in the count is Kirk, 3-1. Easton Kirk had a big night Friday. He was 3 for 5. So he's gotten off to a good start in the series. A bouncing ball to second here, though, and for the second consecutive time tonight, he's going to be a ground out victim, 4-3. This time it's the first out in inning number 4. Thanks to Davis Liquor for sponsoring the 84th NBC on the Big Talker KQAM. Several Wichita locations. Davis Liquor sponsoring the NBC World Series on KQAM. Here's Jacob Boston, the left fielder, who also is 0 for 1 and also with a ground out to second. Takes a strike, 0-1 on a breaking ball, 75 miles an hour. Jacob Boston, multiple years now playing for the Hayes Larks. Swings and misses at another breaking ball that was down, and the count is 0-2. Looked like a curve that time by Brett Clark that sailed from 12 to 6. Boston comes up empty. Clark through the wind and delivers now the 0-2, and this one down and in, 1-2 strikes. You can see the wind is whipping based on the flags just outside the foul pole down the right field line on the foul side, but it looks like it may have picked up a little bit since the game started. So a pretty substantial breeze out to left field. And it's been that way since the game started, but it might be a little bit more pronounced now. Pitch down and in for a ball, and the count's even, 2 strikes. 6-0 our score. Wellington with the lead. Wellington, 6 runs on 6 hits. The Hayes Larks scoreless with just 1 hit through 3 1/3 innings so far. And this might be their second hit of the game. Ground ball to first, diving to his right, Amaro. He'll juggle it, then pick it up and make a nice toss to the pitcher covering. Oh, what a nice play by Amaro, going to his right, and the first baseman showing some mobility there for a 3-1 putout.
Great recovery by the first baseman there, getting over to the pitcher. That's exactly what you want there.
So another out. 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th inning for John Renzel now, the first baseman. And Renzel takes a ball, 1 and no strikes. Renzel has the only base hit of the game for the Larks, that a 1-out single back in the 2nd inning. He's going to lift this one high to left field. It's going to carry out to Conley, a lazy fly ball, and
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, see what's happening at visitwichita.com.
We are now just a couple innings away from our Champs Sports Bar and Grill giveaway. Somebody's going to win a free hamburger, french fries, and a non-alcoholic beverage from one of our great sponsors, Champs Sports Bar and Grill. Stay tuned for that in the bottom of the 7th inning. Champs Sports Bar and Grill, thanks to them for bringing you our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. To the 5th inning we go. Luis Amaro, the first baseman for the Wellington Heat, will lead things off. And the first pitch to Amaro swung on and missed. He actually tipped it at the plate. 0-1 though on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball from Austin Thomason. 0-1. And this one taken for a strike, and it's now 0-2. Amaro was at the plate in the last inning when Alex Lyon was caught stealing between second and third. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Line foul left side. And the count is still 0-2.
Or if he'd have made that landed fair, that would have been a great hit in opposite field.
Amaro got it all started for Wellington in the 3rd inning with a bases loaded 2 RBI double. Takes a fastball outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It started a 3-run inning for Wellington in the 3rd. They matched that in the 4th, and that's where we are now, 6-0 Heat. Breaking ball outside, and the count's now level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thomason ready and winds and delivers down and away, and the count's now full at 3-2. Amaro also made that very nice play at first base in the bottom of the last inning, going down to an E to his right to knock a ground ball down, then toss to his pitcher for a 3-1 putout. He sends one whizzing up and over to our left, and the count is still full at 3-2. Joe Rankin waits on deck, then Kevin Conley. 3, 4, and 5 for the Heat here in the 5th inning, leading Hayes 6-0. The 3-2 pitch, slider fouled back and out of play again. And this has turned into a nice at-bat for Luis Amaro.
It's a great battle going on right here.
Amaro's from Roselle Park, New Jersey, attending West Texas A&M University. Another one fouled back. Or actually, he did attend West Texas A&M. He's graduated, but that's another Lone Star Conference school from down in Canyon, Texas.
Right. Yep, the Javelinas down there.
That would be Texas A&M Kingsville.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
What's
yes. West Texas A&M University is not the Javelinas, or the Javelinas as it is.
Javelinas, that is right, yeah.
The Buffaloes.
Okay.
There's ball 4. Nope, strike 3 called. And down goes Luis Amaro as he's caught looking. Doesn't like that. And there's one away.
Stationed down in Lawton, Fort Sill. They got Cameron University there, so that's how I became pretty familiar with the Lone Star Conference.
Here's Joe Rankin stepping in now. Well, that's interesting. I spent a couple of seasons doing play-by-play for Abilene Christian.
Okay.
Before they left that conference. They're now a member of the Southland Conference in Division I. But I did make the circuit down there in the Lone Star for a few years. Angelo State, West Texas A&M, at the time Abilene Christian, Texas A&M Kingsville, and others. Here's Joe Rankin now. Sends the first pitch foul out of play. 0-1 to him. Rankin is 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded out, but did drive home a run with his ground out to second in the 3rd inning. The 0-1 bounced, and that is just outside the line, says Conan Strobel down at 3rd, and that was very close.
Yes, it was.
Boy, from here, it looked like it didn't bounce foul until after it passed 3rd. But Strobel's got a little bit better angle than I do, and he's quite a bit closer to it, so we'll take his word for it. 0-2.
I guess.
Rankin gets set to step back in. First, he re-enters the box with his back right foot. Now with his front left, taps the bat on the plate. Now it's on his shoulder and ready, and he takes down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rankin, the designated hitter and cleanup hitter for the Wellington Heat. He's got the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and takes down and away. And that'll even things up now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's out of Phoenix and a senior at Southwestern University. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Austin Thomason sends a fastball outside at 88. That not even close, well over into the left-handed batter's box. And the count's now full at 3-2. Thomason set, delivers, outside, ball 4. And that's one, Tommy, that seems like it might have been called a strike a little bit earlier in the game, but the zone shrunk at least right there.
Those last 2 pitches were nowhere near the zone.
So Rankin down at first, and Kevin Conley, the left fielder, will step in now. It's been a struggle for him tonight. He has struck out twice, and both times he struck out swinging. Austin Thomason from the stretch delivers. Conley showing bunt here and stabs at it, misses. He looks a little surprised, almost as if he felt like he took the bat back. But Greg Mudd says he offered at it. Now he's talking to Mudd almost as if perhaps he's asking, did I really swing at that? Nothing and 1 the count. Thomason through the stretch, the 0-1. He's showing bunt again and fouls it off of himself, still in the batter's box. So the count is now 0-2, and Kevin Conley likely will not be bunting now.
Quickly took him out of that bunt situation with those last 2 pitches.
They've set the schedule already for tomorrow's games here at the NBC, and our feature game will be the National Junior College team against the San Antonio Angels. 0-2, and the pitch down and away. The Cheney Diamond Dogs are a local team playing tomorrow, but that will not be the 7 o'clock feature game. They will play the Colorado Black Bears at 3:30. Swing and a miss, and down goes Conley, and his frustrating night continues as he is now 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, all swinging.
Center fielder number 11.
So 2 outs now for Alex Koch, the center fielder. Koch's walked and flied out, 0 for 1. Takes one down and in. Good stop by Geddes behind the plate. Sliding to his right to keep that one from getting away.
We know our teams like Wellington, Hayes, Kansas Cannons, things like that, but you might want to get out and watch the San Antonio Angels team.
Yeah, they're one of the 2 survivors from the first week of pool play. Hot shot just inside the bag, snared by Renzel at first. He'll tap the bag with
Last of the Street Survivors Farewell Tour. Saturday, September 29th in Trust Bank Arena. With special guest, the Marshall Tucker Band, Leonard Skinner, on their final tour ever. Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com, the venue box office, or charge by phone. Leonard Skinner, playing in Trust Bank Arena one last time.
And Pizza Hut. At Kansas Gas Service, we deliver natural gas for a better tomorrow. Each day we deliver the gas that heats your home, cooks your meals, and warms your water, all while staying committed to safety, integrity of the environment, and our communities. Kansas Gas Service, bringing you a better tomorrow today.
Thanks to Team Electric for sponsoring NBC World Series coverage on KQAM and also Shire Graphics. 2 of our great sponsors of this great tournament as we start the bottom half of inning number 5. Clayton Raspberry leads off, takes the first pitch from Brett Clark, a breaking ball for a strike, and pitch number 2, fastball at 80 down low, or excuse me, it's 2 balls and no strikes. 6-0 our score. Wellington has the lead over the Larks of Hayes. Here's the 2-0 to Raspberry, ripped into right field. That'll get down. That'll be a base hit. So a leadoff single for the Larks, just their second base hit of the game. Clayton Raspberry picks it up. A leadoff single to start the 5th inning.
That was a nice solid hit over in the right field there.
So Nick Gaddis, the catcher, will step in now. Gaddis struck out in the 2nd inning.
Catcher number 27, Nick Gaddis.
That's when the first base hit of the game occurred for Hayes in the second inning. And now Gaddis sends one high and deep to left field toward the corner and back. And that one is gone. It's a 2-run homer for Nick Gaddis. And it's now a 6-2 ball game.
Beer plus burgers equals a great time. Emerson Biggins in Old Town. Great food, even better deals. And thanks to Nick Gaddis, that's Wichita Brewing Company.
Well, he got that one up into the breeze, and he needed every bit of it. It was a high, towering home run, Tommy. And there were two questions there. Is it going to stay fair, and is it going to clear the fence right down the left field line? And it did both.
It sure did. Nice. I mean, that was the whole deal there, and he took advantage of that 330 feet down the left field line.
So Gaddis has gotten Hayes on the board now at 6-2, and here's Matt Munoz setting one high, and this is on the infield, the third baseman calling. Now he gives way to the shortstop Lyon, who makes the catch, and there's one away.
We'll see if this starts to rattle Clark here.
Yeah, he was breezing through the first 4 innings, and then a single and a home run before getting the fly out to short by Matt Munoz. We'll go back to the top of the order now. Nobody on, one out for Ryan Randall, the second baseman. Randall, a left-handed hitter, takes outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes, 81 miles an hour that pitch. Randall is 0 for 1. He is grounded out and walked. Clark through the wind and delivers. Hot shot center field coming on his Coke, and he's going to kneel over and make the catch in center field. Nicely done on a sinking liner.
Way to be a line there. I thought that was going to get down, actually.
That had some overspin on it, it looked like. Randall with some topspin on a well-struck ball, but it stayed up long enough for Coke, and there's now 2 away for R.J. Williams, the shortstop. Williams 0 for 1. He's flied out and walked, and he takes one down and away, and regardless of what else Hayes does here, Tommy, that's now 3 well-struck baseballs off of Brett Clark, even though one of them was an out. And there's another one, liner to left field. That one also sinking, and a single for R.J. Williams. So maybe Hayes starting to get their timing down now.
They sure are. I mean, that's 4 hits in a row right there, whether outs or just a
well-struck balls.
Well-struck, yes.
So Wyatt Divis now, the third baseman, will step in. And we'll see if that doesn't also start to stir some activity in the Wellington bullpen. In fact, I think some guys in the dugout might be preparing to move that way. First pitch to Divis is down for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Hayes had 1 hit coming into the bottom of the 5th inning. They've tripled that now, and they've got 4. Tripled that just in this inning alone. Throw over to first, and nothing doing there. R.J. Williams back standing in easily. So 6-2 is our score as Hayes trying to creep back into this one. Fly ball out of play left side over the party deck in foul territory above the third base dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wyatt Divis. Divis has flied out twice, and he likes going the other way apparently. He's flown out to left field and to third base as well. Here, he bounces one to second. To his right is going to be Burtz. He'll throw to second, and they got the force just in the nick of time. As retired at second base was R.J. Williams, 6-4. Nice play by Burtz, 4-6 actually. Nonetheless, down go the Larks, but they score 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning thanks to the 2-run homer by Nick Gaddis. We go to the 6th. Wellington 6, Hayes 2 at the 84th NBC on KQAM. Tommy, you can give me a little more if you want.
What's
you
that?
You can give a little bit more if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. I'm trying to
ease into it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, the Hayes Larks trying to chip away. Still plenty of time as we move to just the 6th inning. 6-2 our score. Wellington with the lead, but it was 6-0 until the bottom of the 5th inning when the Larks finally got on the board thanks to a 2-run homer by Nick Gaddis. So we'll see how Wellington responds now. Sam Curtis, their right fielder, will lead off. He'll be followed by Caleb Doubler and Cody Robinson. 7, 8, 9 in the order for the Heat. Up by 4 against the Larks of Hayes, 6-2. So Curtis will lead off 0 for 2. He has struck out and he is grounded out. Well, the first pitch to him comes down and in for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Rustin Hayes, by the way, is the new pitcher for Hayes. So Hayes is pitching for Hayes. He's out of out of Hector, Arkansas, and Williams Baptist, where he's a sophomore. Right-handed pitcher, down and away for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes.
As he was warming up down there, I was thinking about his last name and the team name.
Yeah, they are the same. And spelled the same, too. Both Hays. No E in his last name or the city's name. 71-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch, inside edge, a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Sam Curtis. Through the wind goes Hayes, and he delivers a strike on the outside edge. He's a side armor mostly, Tommy, who does not bring a lot of velocity, but he's been around the plate so far. 2-2. Through the wind he goes. And a swing and a miss at one, tailing away from the right-handed hitter, and a strikeout as down goes Curtis.
Around the plate, they're swinging and not hitting.
So 1 away for Caleb now Doubler, the catcher. Hayes winds, and his first pitch to Doubler is down low for a ball. It's about a 3/4. I said sidearm. It might be more of a 3/4, but he's certainly not straight over the top, although not coming completely from the side either, somewhere in between. This one lifted out towards second base, and underneath it is the second baseman, Randall, for a fly out to second, and they're 2 away. And the more I look at it, Tommy, and I might need a second set of eyes here, but it almost looks like he's throwing a knuckleball.
You don't have to look at that. I just seen that he's where he's coming from on his angle.
If the angle, but also you can almost see his fingers and the movement on the ball. I wonder if that's a knuckle that he's throwing. He's always right around the low 70s as the first pitch to Cody Robinson swung on and fouled back to the screen. 0-1. He's also a pretty quick worker. This one lifted right center field. Moving over to his left is Matt Munoz. He'll track it down. And, hey, whatever he's throwing, it was a very quick inning for Rustin Hayes. 1, 2, 3 go the Heat in the 6th. To the bottom of the 6th. Wellington 6, Hayes 2 at the 84th NBC on KQAM.
That last, you seen it there on his last pitch. Or at least I picked it up right there.
Did it look like a knuckle?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I could tell I thought I saw his fingers exposed too, knuckles.
Alicia Grissom. For those of us who have pets at home, we all know how important our little furry friends are to our families. And Alicia has a love for animals that goes way beyond many of us as she volunteers as a foster home for the Wichita Animal Action League. Even through her professional job, includes a rigorous travel schedule, Alicia finds time to care for animals in need of good homes. From newborn puppies to senior pets, Alicia not only houses these pets, but also finds new safe homes for these animals. The NBC World Series would like to thank Alicia Grisham for her contributions to the Wichita Action League and this community. This award is in honor of longtime NBC supporter and board member Terry Brewster. Terry always wanted to see kids enjoying the NBC World Series, and a few years ago he decided they should be able to enjoy a free hot dog as well. The Brewster family carries on this tradition by giving a free hot dog to the first 50 kids.
To the bottom of the 6th we go as the Hayes Larks trying to climb back into this, down 6-2. It was 6-0 though in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Larks got their 2 in the bottom of the 5th, Tommy, but then a shutdown inning in the top of the 6th inning, thanks in large part to Rustin Hayes. They're right back up there now in the bottom of the 6th. Easton Kirk takes the first pitch down for a ball 1-0, but as much as you can find momentum in a baseball game, it seems to have shifted the way of Hayes now.
It has, especially on that last pitcher coming over with that knuckleball.
1 ball and no strikes to Easton Kirk, who sends one out to short, but diving and unable to come up with it is Alex Lyon. It's on into center field, and the leadoff batter aboard for the Larks here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
They're starting to solve Clark now.
That's the 2nd inning in a row that the leadoff batter has been aboard for the Larks, and those are the only 2 times in this game that their leadoff batter's been aboard. So that's just more proof to what you're saying, Tommy, that they seem to really be having a feel for their timing now against Brett Clark, who will work from the stretch to Jacob Boston. Boston takes a big cut at a breaking ball, almost like a golf swing, and it's 0-1.
Sorry about that. You got action down in the pin as well.
Boston 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice. Through the stretch goes Clark. Looks over at first and fires to Boston. This one a hot shot, 2-hopper over to short. Bobbled by Lyon. There'll be no play. He was setting to turn 2, but the short hop gave him trouble. He juggled it. It deflected off his glove out into shallow center field, and everybody safe.
Then just walks to the ball.
That's going to be an error on Wellington. That's the first on the heat, and E6 puts Boston at first base, but also allows Easton Kirk to reach second, and all of a sudden, first and second for Larks. The Larks with nobody out for John Ranzel now. And Ranzel sends one to left, slicing out towards Kevin Conley. He'll reach up and make the catch. A big out, number 1.
Big out, but he had to readjust quickly there.
So the liner to left, the second time that Renzel has flied out to left field. 1 out now, runners at first and second for Clayton Raspberry. Raspberry singled and scored back in the 5th inning. He was at first base when Nick Gaddis sent his towering fly ball fair down the left field line for a 2-run homer. A slow slider here at 67 miles an hour by Brett Clark, in there for a strike. 0-1 to Raspberry. Raspberry is also flied out to third. The 0-1 tried to check his swing. The ball gets away, and everybody's going to move up. It was a strike, so it's called strike 2, but Hayes gets everybody to move up on a pitch that went back to the backstop.
2-runner scoring position.
So all of a sudden, the tying run for the Larks is now on deck. The count is 0-2. That was a passed ball as it got away from Doubler. So Raspberry now, with a 1-2 count, takes up high, and that'll even things up at 2-2. Clayton Raspberry's from Heath, Texas, playing collegiately at McNeese State. An even count here, 2-2. He was with Hayes last year, back with him again this year, and slices one down the left field line. That is slicing, and a nice running catch across the foul line by Kevin Conley. That will score the run, though. It'll be a sacrifice as Easton Kirk will score from third, and now it's a 6-3 game.
Phenomenal catch right there by the right fielder.
So Raspberry flies out to left. He will get the sacrifice, though, and an RBI. So Raspberry now with a run scored and an RBI. As Kirk scores from third, it's now 6-3. Runner staying at second was Jacob Boston, and a pitch down low to Nick Gaddis. 1 ball and no strikes to Gaddis.
As you see the right fielder there running in front of the field pass, that's the only field in America, or excuse me, the only seating in America that's on the field.
Yeah, there's a little tent down in left field, and it's just literally about 8-10 feet outside the foul line in left field. Breaking ball in there for a strike. It's now 1-1. It's down in the corner, just on the foul side of the foul pole, but on the playing field. It's a tent with some chairs for what they call a field pass for some fans who probably have to pay a little bit extra to sit there, but nonetheless, it is a little bit different. Pitch swung on, bouncing ball, and that is a foul ball. Oh, and I don't think that folks at Hayes are going to be happy about that. That looked awfully, awfully close to being fair.
You betcha. But as you said, they've got a clearer view than we do, and we'll take their call.
Frank Leo, the coach for Hayes, is not arguing. The third base umpire, Conan Strobel, because there's a runner at second and not at third, is in between second and third, but closer to second base, back behind the pitcher's mound. almost in the same line that the shortstop's in. So the home plate umpire makes that call, and Greg Mudd said it was foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. And here comes the pitch. He went fishing for one down low and comes up empty. So they
make the most of every single moment. After the game, see what's happening at visitwichita.com.
Our thanks to Cherry Oaks Golf Course in Cheney, sponsors of our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. Team Electric, Just Right Auto Repair, Shire Graphics, and Midwest Kia. All of them great sponsors of our coverage of the 84th NBC. We go to the 7th inning now, and the in-between buzzer has expired. That is ball 1 on Hayes. So for Wellington, David Burt steps in, and he's already got a 1 ball, no strike count to his favor because the pitcher out on the mound was not ready, Rustin Hayes, to deliver. And now Burt pops up a bunt over the mound. That'll be an infield base hit. Well, he popped that bunt up. It surprised everybody, first of all. Nobody was really playing for it. Then it popped right over the mound and landed about halfway between the mound and second base for a single.
Well, I was going to say something about his height, but that didn't help him out too much there, did it?
No, Rustin Hayes goes 6 feet 4 inches tall, but he needed to be about 7'4" to catch that. Frank Leo's not happy about something. He just started barking out of the dugout at Greg Mudd, then headed back in. So the leadoff batter aboard for Wellington, leading 6-3, top of the 7th inning. David Burtz with a leadoff bunt gives way now to Alex Lyon, another middle infielder for the Wellington Heat that's up there from the right side of the plate. 2 throws over to first by Rustin Hayes. Nothing doing. Burtz standing it easily. Rustin Hayes is from Hector, Arkansas. And he delivers a strike as Alex Lyon was showing bunt right there and comes up empty.
I'm looking over their birthdays, and I don't know if it's a typo or not, but it's showing Rustin Hayes as being 30 years old and a redshirt sophomore.
That's probably not right.
I would hope not.
He just played at the college we were talking about earlier, Williams Baptist, this past season. Throw over to first again. Burt's back in easily. One unique thing about Rustin Hayes is that he played quite a bit both as a pitcher and as a hitter this past season at Williams Baptist. He works from the stretch here, showing bunt again as Lyon, but it's foul up the first baseline. And that will likely take care of the bunt situation with the count 0-2. Rustin Hayes appeared in 8 games as a pitcher this season and 27 as a hitter. He was 1-4 as a pitcher with a 5.28 earned run average in 30 2/3 innings, but he also had 72 at-bats this season. And he hit .236. Right-hander stretches, delivers, and that one inside, and it hit Alex Lyon. So he'll take his free pass down to first base. That'll send David Burtz to second base. And just as Hayes starts to try to climb back into this thing, they've pulled to within 3. An ominous start to the 7th inning as it's gone bunt, single, and hit batsman to the first 2 hitters for Wellington. So with first and second, nobody out, Luis Amaro, the first baseman, steps in. He's already got one of the big hits of the night for Wellington, that 2 RBI double back in the 3rd inning. It's really been feast or famine for Amaro, though, because in his other 2 at-bats, he's struck out twice, once looking and once swinging. So he's 1 for 3, but that one hit was a big one, a 2 RBI double back in the 3rd inning. They scored, incidentally, the first 2 runs of the game. Infield looks for a double play through the stretch now. Goes Hayes. Amaro showing bunt. Gets it down to the pitcher. The throw to third. They got the force. 1-5 on the putout as Amaro was too solid on that bunt. Hayes off the hill, whipped around, Tommy, and threw it just in time to third.
Get the lead man out. So you got man at first and second now.
So 1 away as Amaro reaches on the fielder's choice. Down to second goes Lyon, but Amaro did not get the job done.
Great play by the pitcher.
And Joe Rankin will step in now. Through this stretch goes Hayes and delivers off-speed pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, that's one of the things about this artificial surface is when you bunt, you have to use even extra touch with the bat. I don't think that one would have mattered. He struck that so solid even on grass. I think that's going to hop up to the pitcher in time to make a play to third. Pitch down low for a ball to Rankin. 1 ball and 1 strike. But that's really also a case where you've got to get one down one of the lines, but certainly not right back toward the pitcher. Through the stretch goes Hayes. Now steps off the rubber.
That get up one of the lines, get to your first or third baseman, crash on whichever way you're trying to take it.
Hayes started his collegiate career, Rustin Hayes, the pitcher for Wellington, at Arkansas Tech, before he moved on to Williams Baptist, where he is now a sophomore. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 runners on. The pitch lifted high right side. Moving in is Clayton Raspberry. He's under it. We'll see if they send the runner to third. They will, and Raspberry just holds on to the baseball. Clayton Raspberry did not throw the ball back to the infield until it was way too late, and Alex Lyon goes second to third.
No idea what he was thinking there.
He almost acted like Raspberry. He lost track of the fact that there was a runner at second base. He just nonchalantly caught the ball and stood there with it. Then by the time he threw it to second, it was way too late, and Alex Lyon alertly to third base.
You're not taking batting practice, bud.
Yeah, he didn't think it was the third out because he didn't start running in. He just apparently forgot that there was a runner at second base because he just stood there with a baseball. Throw over to first, nothing doing. Luis Amaro still there. So first and third for Wellington, 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, Wellington 6, Hayes 3. Hayes through the stretch and tosses down low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Kevin Conley, the left fielder, who is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, all of them swinging. Another toss over to first base. And back diving in this time, Luis Amaro.
See if he can adjust to the way Hayes is pitching.
Slow, deliberate stretch for Hayes and a toss home. Hot shot to short. Nice play. Fielded there by Williams. A hot shot grounder, but he fields it and tosses to second for a 6-4 force as Amaro's retired, and so are the Heat, and they come up empty. No runs, and there was a hit in the inning, but a couple left. Stretch time at Lawrence Dumont. Wellington 6, Hayes 3 at the 84th NBC on KQAM.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
To the bottom of the seventh inning we go. They're stretching at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, and NBC Hall of Famer Mike Dean is going to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
There he is with the harmonica. Mike Dean would take me out to the ball game.
Thank you. All right. Always a good time when we break during the seventh inning stretch to hear God Bless America, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and many times at the NBC it's by that man that just played the harmonica, NBC Hall of Famer Mike Dean. This is his 35th year as the official scorer of the NBC World Series, and part of his duties also include playing the harmonica.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's always fun to listen to. All right. Here we go now. Bottom of the seventh inning. Hayes Larks in, trailing 6-3, and a pinch hitter for Hayes as they will start off the bottom of the ninth with Daryl Myers leading off as a pinch hitter. He is attending Benedictine College, and he's from Castle Rock, Colorado, and he bounces one to second. David Birch to his left fields and fires to first for a 4-3 putout, one away. Okay, it's time now for our Champ Sports Bar and Grill giveaway. For those of you listening, get your dialing fingers ready. The number is 316 with the area code 721-8255. 316-721-8255. Start dialing now. David Mitchell standing by, and the first caller will receive a hamburger meal from Champ Sports Bar and Grill here in Wichita. Hamburger, french fries, and a non-alcoholic beverage. Start dialing now, 721-8255. Ryan Randall in, takes the first pitch from Brett Clark inside for a ball, offering number 2 down and away. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Randall.
Well, it looked like he was going to get plunked on that last one.
6-3 our score. Wellington's got the lead as this one is swung on and lifted foul and out of play. And the count's now 2 balls and a strike to Randall. Ryan Randall 0 for 2. He is grounded out, flied out, and he is also walked. Brett Clark, a little bit of trouble in the 5th and the 6th innings. He gave up 3 runs. Other than that, he's been pretty good. Pitch swung on here. Bouncing ball over to first, fielded by Luis Amaro. He'll run to the bag and win the foot race for a 3 unassisted putout. And there are now 2 outs here in the inning. Shire Graphics and Taco Prano, sponsors of our coverage of the 84th NBC. Taco Prano, ask them about their Money Saver combo. And also, don't forget Tuesdays, Taco Tuesdays at Taco Prano. 60-cent tacos all day long. Taco Prano with 2 Wichita locations. R.J. Williams steps in, takes the first pitch down and away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Clark delivers a fastball, and Williams rips it in left field, but right at Kevin Conley for a very quick 1-2-3. Down go the Larks in the 7th. We'll head to the 8th. Wellington 6, Hayes 3 at the 84th NBC on KQAM.
Join us and help kids learn to walk, talk, and play with their peers by supporting Heart Springs pediatric programs. Heart Springs' 15th annual Pedal Fest bike ride is on Saturday, August 25th. Hop on your bike and pick the ride that's best for you. Pedal Fest has a route for everyone, from a 100K to a 5-mile family ride and 60K gravel ride. After the ride, rest your weary legs with a cold beer, lunch, and some family fun. Go to kwch.com for more information. Join the ride and help make a difference.
Have you seen Scott when this song's on? He's got his head at the booth. Well, it was a very quick bottom of the 7th inning. The Hayes Larks went in order, and now It's up to Rustin Hayes to try and keep this at a 3-1 ball game, 6-3 as we go to the top half of inning number 8. So leading it off for Wellington will be Kevin Conley, the left fielder. Alex Koch, the center fielder. He'll be followed by Sam Curtis and Caleb Doubler. So it'll be 6, 7, and 8 for Wellington, trying to improve on their 3-run, 6-3 lead. Alex Koch is in. He's 0 for 2 tonight, and he sends one a hot shot to first. A one-hopper by Renzel, nicely done, about knee-high, reaching to his left. Snares the one-hopper and steps on the bag for a 3 unassisted, and there's one away.
That was a great stop by the first baseman there.
Right fielder number 3, Sam Curtis.
We've got a winner for a Champ Sports Bar and Grill giveaway as there's one out. Sam Curtis will step up to the plate now, who's 0 for 3. Ann McCutcheon is our winner of the Champs Sports Bar and Grill giveaway of a free meal at Champs. First pitch in to Sam Curtis, a strike, 0-1. Curtis has struck out twice, grounded out once. The 0-1, he thought about it and checked up.
Every position is important on the field, but I mean, you got to have yourself a great first baseman.
1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Curtis, who lifts this one, speaking of, over toward first. And it's John Renzel, the first baseman, that makes the catch, 2 away.
There you go.
Prairieland Partners, John Deere is the official ground
So
sponsor
2 quick
for
outs.
NBC World
And yeah, John Renzel has shown the ability to snag hot shot bouncing balls and caught a pretty routine fly up right there. But also, we've seen a lot of, not surprising, Tommy, big first baseman in this tournament as well, as the first pitch down and in to Caleb Doubler, 1 ball, no strikes.
No doubt, that's one of the positions where you see some of your bigger guys at, and a lot of times you really need it.
And Renzel's one of them, a first baseman for Hayes at 6'4", 230 pounds. As a strike delivered to Caleb Doubler, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hayes ready, comes from the side, delivers down and away. It's 2-1. 2 big innings for Wellington, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth. They have been silent outside of that. But that's enough for a 6-3 lead as a swing and a miss, strike 2. As Caleb Doubler has now worked the count to even at 2-2 after that swing and a miss.
Doubler could be out in front of that pitch there.
Through the wind goes Hayes and tosses home. Lazy fly ball, center field. Munoz coming on over to his right, makes the catch.
Kansas Gas Service delivers natural gas to many of the companies you know, ensuring they have the energy they need to grow and build strong communities, providing cost-effective, safe, and reliable natural gas for a better tomorrow today. Kansas Gas Service.
Just Right Auto Repair and Shire Graphics amongst our sponsors at the 84th NBC World Series. As we head now to the bottom of inning number 8, the Hayes Larks running out of outs now. They're down to their final 6, trailing the Wellington Heat by the score of 6-3. And Brett Clark is out there again for the 8th inning for the Wellington Heat, and he's going to get the benefit of a 1-pitch out as a throw to first base by the shortstop R.J. Williams on a ground ball to short by Wyatt Divis. So, Tommy, 1 pitch, 1 out. Wellington's got to love that.
Yeah, a great scoop by Amaro there at first base, and it was. I mean, you get out there, do some work.
So Easton Kirk will step in now from the left side. in a 6-3 score. 6 runs and 7 hits for Wellington. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Hayes Larks. And Greg Mudd just went, and I think he's having some issues still with Frank Leo, because he walked over toward the dugout, said something. He also said something to the Wellington dugout, and then he just took his right arm and waved off somebody barking at him from the Hayes dugout.
Both sides chirping him all game. You see batters from both sides.
First pitch down to Easton Kirk, 1 ball and no strikes. Now Clark delivers the next, and this one is lifted, pretty well struck, a high fly ball to center field, and going back is going to be the center fielder, and Alec Koch misjudged it, and it bounces over his head all the way up to the fence, and down to second base goes Kirk.
Misjudged it, and he's mad at himself, and he should be.
And I think the wind might have had something to do with that one. It's blowing straight out toward left field, and you could see that Koch was backing up and then had to back up and move more to his right, which is our left, as the wind might have gotten a hold of that one. It was a towering fly ball, and then it bounced on the hard turf and then made its way to the fence, and Kirk ends up at second base with a double. So here's Jacob Boston now, and he sends a high fly ball to shallow right field. And it's going to be the second baseman having trouble with the wind, but David Burtz makes the catch. You could see him battling the wind as well.
As you alluded to earlier with the wind, I mean, that ball gets up in there, and they've got to make corrections on the fly.
So John Renzel now steps in with a runner at second and 2 outs. Just when you thought Hayes might make things interesting, a 1-pitch out to Jacob Boston. So Renzel is in now. He's 1 for 3, and he's flied out twice to left field. And he check swings at this one, and it's just barely foul. Boy, Caleb Doubler, the catcher, tried to tag him out, but the home plate umpire, Greg Mudd, says it bounced in foul territory, and that's where it was picked up as well. So it's a foul ball.
The one thing about Greg Mudd is he's keeping great control of this game from both sides.
So John Renzel, no balls and a strike. Through the stretch goes Brett Clark. And he'll stretch and deliver a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. And now it's 0-2. And Brett Clark, other than that little bit of trouble through the middle innings, Tommy, has been very effective.
Selling along quite well.
Saved his team's bullpen as well. There is activity down in the Wellington bullpen, but even if he doesn't finish this game, that's a big victory for Wellington. Pitch swung on. There's a shot to the gap the other way, slicing to left center. That's going to get the run home. Renzel rounding first on his way to second. Easton Kirk will score from second. And it's now a 6-4 ball game in favor of Wellington.
Great poke to the gap there. It got the runner across. Another man in scoring position.
And John Renzel, I mentioned his 2 flyouts, Tommy, were to left field. So if you're Wellington and he's up, you've got to be ready for him to do something like that. And sure enough, this time he found the gap in left center and drives home a run. So Clayton Raspberry now represents the tying run in the game with the score 6-4 and a runner at second. Takes down away for a ball, 1-0.
So let's say
Raspberry is 1 for 2. And he lines one up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Rounding third is Renzel. He's going to try and score. The throw to the infield cut off. It's an RBI single for Raspberry. And now we've got a 1-run game at 6-5.
And this game just got interesting with that base hit right there.
And that's going to be it for Brett Clark. He is clearly out of gas. He's going to get a nice round of applause, though, from the Wellington fans. He took his team into the 8th inning, but I think that's all she wrote, unless they're going to leave him in there. There's been activity down in the Wellington bullpen. Unless they're not ready, I would be surprised if he stays in. But it looks like he is. And I don't know if that's a case that the bullpen's not ready. They've been warming up for a while, but it clearly seems like he is out of gas, Tommy. Are you surprised?
A little bit, but I also think just a vote of confidence from his manager going out there and letting him know that he's behind him and thinks he can get the job done.
He's 1 out away from getting out of the inning, but also 1 swing of the bat away is Wellington from losing their lead. Here's Nick Gaddis, and guess what? He's already got a 2-run homer tonight. If he does that again, Hayes will jump in front. It's 6-5 with a runner at first. Time called at the plate, and Gaddis steps back out. He got one high in the air right down the left field line. It just sailed over the wall inside the left field foul pole. That was back in the 5th inning. A breaking ball down, a strike actually, 0-1. Clark stretches, fires home. This one down and away. 75 miles an hour.
Top of that, we got action starting up in the Hayes bullpen as well.
So this game has gotten really interesting now since Wellington had the early 6-0 lead. Big swing and a miss there for Gaddis. He was swinging for the fences again. A 69 mile an hour breaking ball.
If he'd have that swing back.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Brett Clark through the stretch and the pitch. Another big swing and a miss, and give Brett Clark.
Pain, back pain, all kinds of sprains. If your knee replacement aches when it starts to rain, at Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. Concussions, arthritis, carpal tunnel, tooth, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's, we've got the treatment for you. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. One-on-one sessions with a personal touch. Ask our thousands of patients why they love us so much. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that.
Well, it's Rustin Hayes' job now to try to keep this at a 1-run game, as the Hayes Larks, since being down 6-0, have scored 5 unanswered runs. So we go to the 9th, Wellington 6, Hayes 5, and the first pitch to start inning number 9 is a breaking ball to Cody Robinson, and he chops it foul at the plate, 0-1. Hayes ready and delivers another one down and away. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike to Robinson, the number 9 hitter in the order for Wellington, who's looking for some insurance. We'll go back to the top of the order next with David Birch. There's a swing and a miss for a strike, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Robinson, Birch, and Alex Lyon, 9, 1, and 2. And then if anybody gets aboard, Luis Amaro for the Wellington Heat. This one way outside, and the count's even at 2-2. But a nice job also, Tommy, by this bullpen for Hayes tonight.
Great hold. There's no doubt about that there, Steve.
Rustin Hayes amongst them, came on a couple of innings ago. We're in the 9th now, 6-5 Wellington batting and leading as the visitors. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the pitch outside, and the count's now full at 3-2. And there's nobody warming up right now in the Hayes bullpen, so they like what they've seen from Hayes, and they're going to rely on him for at least a little while longer unless he gets into a lot more trouble here in the 9th. The 3-2 in on the fists and bounced foul over toward the third base coach's box.
They obviously like what they see, but also, as you've alluded to before, it's they've got to save the arms for this week-long tournament that they're in.
So the count is full at the plate to Cody Robinson, who singled in the 4th inning. He also singled in the 3rd. He is 2 for 3 tonight. Both times he singled, he eventually came around to score as well. Full count pitch, swung on and fouled back to the screen. The count still 3-2. Those were the 2 busy innings for Wellington, the 3rd and the 4th. They scored 3 times in each inning, but in every other inning they have been quiet. But they lead 6-5. Another 3-2 lifted on the infield. The third baseman Davis coming on. Now it's the shortstop that calls, and R.J. Williams makes the catch about halfway between the mound and shortstop, 1 away.
That's the great deal about when you have good communication.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be the third baseman that was going to make the catch. Then he called off. Williams did Wyatt Davis, and the shortstop. Williams makes the catch. So back to the top of the order we go now with David Burtz, who takes down and in for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Burtz has had a very nice night at the plate tonight. He's 3 for 4. And he sends this one to left field, but right at Jacob Boston, who barely has to move. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 9th inning. In the bottom of the 9th inning for the Hayes Larks, due up will be Matt Munoz, Ryan Randall, and R.J. Williams. So 9, 1, and 2 for Hayes in the bottom of the 9th inning, which is the same 3, 9, 1, and 2 that Wellington is sending up here in the top of the 9th. Alex Lyon in now, lifts one to center field, pretty well struck. To his left is Munoz, but he'll track it down for a fly out to center, and a quick 1-2-3 for Wellington in the top of the 9th inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Wellington 6, Hayes 5 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM. Thank you, sir. Nope.
Thanks, bro.
Well, the Wellington Heat, 3 outs away from going to 2-0 in this championship week of the NBC World Series, but we've got a nail-biter as it's Wellington 6 and Hayes 5 as we go to the bottom of inning number 9. Hayden Woolsey is from Mustang, Oklahoma, and pitching collegiately for Southwestern Christian University. He is a left-handed pitcher who appeared in 14 games this past season and put up some pretty good numbers. He was 4-0 with a save in 29 and a third innings. He walked 16 and struck out 27 with a 2.76 ERA. And opponents hit just 167 against him. His team 3 outs away from victory, but Hayes 2 runs away from winning here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Matt Munoz will lead it off. We've got a lefty versus lefty battle, and Munoz showing bunt, but pulls the bat back for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0, and this one in there for a strike. And that'll even things up now at 1 apiece.
Great performance by Brett Clark bringing us to this point in the game, bottom of the 9th.
Through this stretch, and the pitch outside for a ball, and the count is now 2 balls and a strike. Woolsey, a smallish left-handed pitcher. He's only 5'9", 160 pounds. A freshman this past year at Southwest Christian. Delivers and a bouncing ball to second. Nice play by Amaro, short hopping, and then diving at the bag just in the nick of time. What a nice play for the first out of the inning.
Taking a step or knocking him back a little bit, then he dives for the bag. That's a great play. There you go.
He was really tricked on that second hop. It might have had some overspin on it, and it kind of fooled him, and he went down to the turf, then got back up and won the foot race to the bag. And so 1 up, 1 down as we go back to the top of the order now with Ryan Randall. Randall bounces one out to second base, fielded cleanly by David Burtz. He'll throw to first in time for a 4-3 put out, and now they're 2 away, and the last chance for Hayes will be R.J. Williams.
Woolsey making quick work so far.
So R.J. Williams steps up from the right side of the plate with 2 outs, nobody on. 6-5 Wellington as the Heat looking to move to 2-0 in championship week. And the first offering from Woolsey is in there for a strike to Williams, 0-1. R.J. Williams does have one base hit on the night. He's 1 for 3 and has also walked. The 0-1 pitch lined into center field, coming on his Coke. He's not going to get there, though. That's going to land in front of him for a base hit.
Solid base hit right there.
So the Larks are not done yet. This team has been scrapping all night long, down 6-0 after 3.5 innings, but they've responded with 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 2 more in the 8th inning. So they've scored 5 unanswered. Can they come all the way back? Here's Wyatt Divis now in from the left side. First pitch to Divis. In there, it's a strike, 0-1. Divis is very quiet tonight. He is 0 for 4, so he is the number 3 hitter in the Hayes lineup, and he is past due. The 0-1 pitch, taken outside and low, 1 ball and 1 strike. He was 2 for 5 in the Larks win Friday over Clarinda, but hitless tonight, 0 for 4, so now 2 for 9 in the World Series. Needs a big hit here, the 1-1, down and away. Easton Kirk waits on deck.
And with every pitch gives you a little more hope for Hayes.
Wyatt Divis will have to keep the inning alive and the game alive. Both of these teams 1-0 in championship week. One of them about to be 2-0. Here's the 2-1 pitch outside, ball 3. And it's now 3-1, and this is big because if a walk is drawn here by Divis, then the tying run is out at second base, and it could take just a single to tie the score. Left-handed batter, left-handed pitcher. Woolsey through the stretch and delivers. Hot shot off the mound and on into center field for a base hit. Stopping at second base is Williams, and now first and second with 2 outs for Easton Kirk. And things getting a little more interesting. Activity stirring down in the Wellington bullpen.
Great hit up the middle, as you've seen. A walk would have put him there, but that great hit also got the run in scoring position.
So time has been called. A conversation out on the mound between the first baseman, Luis Amaro, the catcher, Caleb Doubler, and the pitcher, Hayden Woolsey, is about to step in is Easton Kirk. And Kirk, you talk about guys who are starting to get their rhythm and their timing. His last 2 trips to the plate, Tommy, a 6th inning single and an 8th inning double after starting off the night 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts to second base. But well-struck balls his last 2 times up. Runners at first and second with 2 out. Breaking ball, the first pitch in there, a strike, 0-1.
Let's see if he can add an RBI to that total tonight.
1 RBI will tie the score. 2 or more, it'll be a walk-off win for Hayes. 0-1 the count to Kirk at the plate. Lefty versus lefty in the pitch. Bounced foul just outside the bag at first. And now Wellington 1 strike away from victory.
Kirk gets one of those past that vacuum there at first base tomorrow. This game is going to be Hayes's.
You would have to assume R.J. Williams, a shortstop, would run with pretty good speed. He's out at second base. Representing the tying run in the bottom of the 9th inning of a 6-5 game, Wellington over Hayes. Lefty versus lefty battle. Through the stretch goes Woolsey, the pitch home. Liner out to short. Fielded there, and an underhand toss to the bag at second. In time, and Wellington wins a thriller by the final score of 6-5 as Wyatt Divis retired at second base on the force out. What a ball game tonight that Wellington gets the victory in by just 1 run.
Great matchup, as you've seen with the 6-5 score. And Wellington improves to 2-0.
So Wellington is 2-0. Hayes is 1-1 in championship week of the NBC. We'll be back with the final wrap right after this.